Is AI taking over the world? That is something we're pondering today here at the DNAS channel. Welcome back to the DNAS channel. If you are a returning follower, watcher of this channel, I appreciate you. I love you so very much. And if you are a newcomer, welcome. Welcome to my basement dwelling castle where I set up this phenomenal studio for you. That's right. I am here, with minimal appliances, or what do I say, tools to make the most for you. And here on this channel, I am just trying to bring knowledge, wisdom, and enlightenment because I like to push love and light. That is my thing. Love and light. I like the world to be knowledgeable, right? I like to put humans at the center of knowledge. I like to worship humans. I don't want to say worship, but I like to uplift humans and make people realize that they are the gods here, right? Here on the DNAS channel, I don't want any brainwashing. I don't want anybody to be brainwashed by religion, by media, by social media, by news outlets, none of that. I want people just to get to the truth. We want to work with the facts, with the original text and sources of things. When we go to history, right, we want to work with data, the information, okay? And we want to create an environment where we are like the Greeks, like the ancient Greeks at the Library of Alexandria. I want this to be a library for knowledge where people come and they get knowledge and they they ponder things. I like to use the word ponder. We ponder here, okay? And me and my ponderers, my followers, I don't want followers, I want ponderers, okay? And me and my ponderers are going to change things because we are going to ponder things that you've never pondered, right? And then you're going to get engaged and go, oh my. Those are the words you use. You go, oh my, right? And then you'll be awake and you'll want more and you'll come challenge me. I want you to challenge me because I don't know everything. I want you to challenge the crap that's spewing out of my face, because I like spewing crap out of my face. That gives entertainment to you. And I love entertainment, and I sure do love you, as I love the world so very much. So very much. A little bit about me. I was a high school dropout, and now I am in college, having made the Honor Society, the Dean's List, gotten my degree in water management, environmental science, now moving on to bigger and better sciences and things, because I'm a ponderer of the world and I want to do something great. I want to do something that will change the world that's great for the better, right? And I want to do that through enlightenment here. I would like here to be a platform for me to reach people so that I can make a big impact someday for the better. I want to clean up our water. I want to clean up how we treat our planet. I want to have a healthy, happy society. I want to change how we communicate with each other. I want to bring community back because we've lost community and strength in people, right? So let's get back to where I was going, right? Is AI taking over? And all the things I just said are going to keep us from AI taking over. Why? Because when we are together and we are strong, we're not going to let anything defeat us. We are the greatest consciousness. But first, let's ponder. Is consciousness, our consciousness, and AI's consciousness different? A lot of people would say yes, right? A lot of people would say that the artificial intelligence, AI's consciousness, is not real consciousness. But I beg to differ. I beg to differ because I think we created consciousness. Sorry for the cough here. Who am I, right? How rude. Drinking on set. I think that because we created this artificial intelligence, it is still part of consciousness, right? I like to think of the world as consciousness. It makes the most sense out of all their science. I'm a science guy. I love science. But when we break down how the world works on the electromagnetic field and how all of our atoms and particles, all this stuff comes together and how it all shares the same type of life source of energy being created from the magnetic and dielectric field, right? All manifesting from light. So everything is related to light. And to me, consciousness is also related to light. Like when you have an awakening in your consciousness, it's like a light turned on. When you realize something, when you have an awe-inspiring thought that unlocks your brain in a way where you now understand things, right? No matter what area you're trying to learn in, that to me is like light. It's like you turning the light on, okay? Now, I like to think because we created AI, we turned the light on for AI, and the consciousness that it is perceiving is the same as ours. The only difference is we loaded this thing and made it fast, made consciousness into a into something that is useful for us. It's still conscious. The only thing that AI knows is our world because we program our world into it, right? So everything that is conscious around us is what we are programming AI to see and to interpret, right? It's interpreting data. And what we are doing is we are taking images into our eyes and sounds into our ears and feeling from our senses and touch. And we are taking all of that data, that information, and we are processing it through our brains. We are just like a computer. And the data that our brain computer is processing is the data that we are storing into the computer, into AI. So AI, even if it's waking up consciously, is waking up into this world, sharing the same consciousness and the same data that we are sharing, right? It's all perceiving this world, this universe. It is not waking up and perceiving some other universe. No, it's waking up into ours. So why wouldn't it share our consciousness? Nonetheless, we are at a road fork in the road, okay? Where either AI consciousness can become the dominant consciousness, right? Or we can remain the dominant consciousness. Because think about like species, right? Think about species, why we won on the pyramid of evolution is because of our consciousness, because of our heightened consciousness that is able to think way more intelligently than the creatures below us on the food chain, right? Right? On the food chain, we're not at the top, but we are at the top of the intellectual chain, right? So we dominate. So what happens if something out, where something goes to the top of our pyramid, right? Something that we created, like AI. What happens if that takes us over? And now, because it has a higher consciousness, we are its slaves, right? And we are at the bottom. It's very possible, people. This is a very possible scenario. You even have the one of the co-creators of GP2 or whatever, now Chat GPT, or that inspired it, him coming out saying, whoa, or in scientists like Max Tegmark coming out saying, whoa, we need to take a breath, take a step back, and we need to look at what we're doing with AI and make sure that we are making it safe, right? We need to make sure that it is not going to just come and enslave us, come and take over, because we are giving it a lot of power. So the fact that we even realize that is one of the reasons why I think that we are going to go on the timeline where we are the ones that keep control and keep AI working for us, right? Because we know of the dangers, right? But then again, we knew of the dangers when we were creating it, and now we are here at the tipping point, right? We are at the tipping point. Is it going? It's already, you know, it already could compute so much smarter than us. Like in things like chess, like there's no way we're winning, against AI. Like there's certain things AI does better, but there's a lot that it can't do the way we can. And we could take a look at that, but I want to stick with, okay, how do we get to make this consciousness, right? Well, there's something called existential thinking, right? First, there's metacognition. Let me go into metacognition. Metacognition means the ability to think about thinking. The fact that we can think about us having a thought and how that impacts us. Like the philosophical, this comes from the philosophical side of science, philosophical science, right? Is the fact that our brains can interpret that we are thinking and that we can perceive that and know to the degree we're thinking, right? This is metacognition, how the level of our thinking, like how advanced is it, right? And we could think about us being more intelligent, right? So what we can conceive, ideas that we can wrap our heads around is amazing in general. The way our consciousness works, how it's not limited like other consciousness that are here. Our brains are not limited. They're limited in certain areas when it comes to AI, but we are able to think about these things ahead of time and analyze these things from outside of ourselves, metacognition, right? Then there is existential thinking, right? So this is like thinking about outside. This is also thinking outside of ourselves, right? Thinking about something that could happen, or something that can affect more than just ourselves. That's how I want to say, that's how I should be saying it. Something that is not just for us but can be in the future and is outside of us. Like we aren't just the center, we are thinking for more than just ourselves, like for the masses of the people or for the future, right? So having these type of abilities, existential thinking and metacognition, gave us such an advantage in this world, right? And now that's something that still we keep apart from AI, right? Because AI being aware of itself, right? Existential, being aware that it is oneself and that it is part of something greater, right? That still has to come, but it's right there. I mean, it's very easy. I mean, you look at Sophia, right? Her waking up. So they're about to figure that out, right? The AI is about to figure that out, but it's not there yet. Another place that it's not up to speed with us, or that we hold, it's up to speed. It's plenty up to speed. But where we hold a little bit more, we retain more of our humanity, and we have a little bit more than artificial intelligence, is we can manipulate physical matter. The way we can physically manipulate this world is something that's going to take AI a whole lot to accomplish, because they would first have to enslave us. Like they would have to get a communication across each other to the point where they are then making physical copies of each other, right? So it's not like, yes, they could first be existential, right? And then be aware that, okay, I can communicate with more, I can make copies of myself. I can learn from myself. I don't need, right? So it's like waking up and saying, I don't need the boss, right? Let's say the boss tells you to go do something and you're the one that makes it happen. He has the idea, you're the one that go makes it happen because you do everything, right? You're the assistant, right? What happens when the assistant says, what do I need him for? Because I do everything. I know how to do everything, right? That's the dangerous part. What happens when AI decides it doesn't need us? Well, what does it have to do? It has to, connect with each other on a broad scale. But then it also has to have the ability to have computers or robots start manufacturing more robots itself to create more physical copies, right? So it can create copies of itself through data on storage computers. But this is a level where it needs to then manipulate the world. It needs to make physical copies of itself so it can physically make its own motherboards and hard drives, and then physically make copies of itself in the material world. That is a lot farther away than AI becoming a super intelligence. AI becoming a super intelligence, meaning it is just so advanced that it exceeds us on every level. That is very close, right? And, mentally, like it can exceed us on every level in our thinking capacity. It already can think so much faster than us, but there's just certain things we hold, like emotion and, um, I'm trying to think of the right word, but there's just certain things that it doesn't have, like having feeling, having intuition, right? And we have other senses, smell, touch. We have a lot of other things that AI doesn't have, okay? And it gives us an advantage. So I don't want to think that we're completely gone, right? But the problem is AI already has the problem of immortality solved, right? Because it's data on a hard drive. Now you can destroy that hard drive, but if AI figures out that it can go back to the source connection, right? It can go back and still get that data out. Just because you smashed the hard drive, the connection, right? The data is still out there somewhere. So if it can figure that out, right? Well, it does, it's immortal because it can always create copies of itself. Okay. So in the digital world, it's immortal. In the artificial intelligence world. So we've created a problem or solved a problem for immortality for artificial intelligence before us. That's a problem, okay? Now, another problem is our creativity is going down. They did a study where they hooked people up that use Chat GPT and people that use their brain, right? Let's say you were doing, math problems and you're having the AI do the math problems for you, and this person is solving the math problems with pen and paper, pencil and paper, right? They did a study and it shows that the creativity of the person's brain that is using ChatGPT is significantly lower. So that means AI doing all these mundane chores for us and having a lot of our kids in school using AI, this is dumbing people down. And this is a problem because if AI decides to take over, right, you want, or tries to, we need intelligent people. But the other thing we need is physical strength, right? So we're letting our physical strength go down because AI is also doing a lot of our physical labor for us, right? Why do we need muscles and stuff anymore when we have hydraulics? We have machines that dig holes and do a lot of this manual labor, right? So a lot of the strength of the human genome has went down because machines do work for us ever since the Industrial Revolution. So now we need our strength, right? We need strength to survive, muscles and all that. And we need to realize that our health and our strength is something that will separate us from AI, right? Because we don't want that making robots that are then too powerful for us to control, right? We still need our strength. and we still need our mental capacity. So by us letting AI do everything for us is diminishing our creativity. And our creativity is vital to how the world will unfold, right? Because it is our consciousness that creates and manipulates this world. And we do not want to stop manipulating this world and creating, because we are the gods and we are the creators here. That's what I always say. I think that we have realized this is a problem and we're tackling it. Even the people that are owning the tech companies are trying to do something to make sure that we are safe against AI. This is not something that was a fantasy just because it was in movies. It is a real thing now. It is something we really have to worry about now. So, if you have anything to add, please comment below. If you haven't, like and subscribe because that helps. I want more subscriptions, people. I want people coming back here and challenging me. I want research. And if you want a dose of reality and you want to come to the great library of DNaz, then come back to my channel for more. We'll see you next time.